Hello there, lovers. Today's video is a little bit of a rant video, but those are my favorite kinds of videos and they're easiest to edit, so hi. This is why I love YouTube so much, is because you always have a place to go back to talk as long as you motherfucking want about whatever you motherfucking want. And I was on the Are You the One after show last week that is hosted by Terrence J. And just before I was about to go on screen, like literally as I was about to walk out, the producer comes up to me and he was like, we just had a situation that happened that you just saw. Can you respond to that situation right now and go? And I literally blanked out, and here's why. One of the girls likes this dude. She likes him and she consents to a sexual experience with him in the morning. That same night, that same dude is fooling around with another girl. And she was appalled and disgusted and deeply hurt. And so on the show, just before my segment, she was like almost in tears, just talking about how disrespected she felt. The guy had to call in and apologize to her. Then on Twitter, I saw all these people ripping this dude like another asshole, like he's this, he's that, blah, blah, blah. And so they come to me like, okay, so we just had this really emotional moment, go out there and say something to her. And I was like, I kind of have a love-hate relationship with how I was raised in this way by my dad, where everything is my fault. It doesn't matter if I call my dad crying or I am like in the midst of crisis. He's going to remind me somewhere in that conversation that there's something I could have done better to avoid the situation. That somehow it's actually me who's the root problem of whatever that issue is. I could be sitting in a food court and gotten hit by a bus, and it would be my fault because I chose to eat food that would eventually kill me. So there's two kinds of people in this world. There's people who happen to the world, and there's people that the world happens to them. And you know those people. And so when I'm in that kind of experience where I see a woman who is on a show where the goal is to get through 10 different people in a short space of time to see which one is your ideal match, couple with somebody, not set a clear expectation for what she would need for that coupling, and then be disappointed that the person did not advocate for their needs. I don't know how to feel sorry for you. What you could do is say, man, I didn't know I would respond that way. You know what I mean? Like, I thought I would be cool with this sexual experience, and I understand the game and the situation that we're in. I understand that you're gonna have to eventually meet somebody else, but for my personal needs, I'm gonna need a 7-hour window in between. But if you didn't have that conversation, but somehow in your mind expected the other person just to know what you would need, and when they didn't know that, you held them accountable and blamed them and made yourself into the victim. When you're in a relationship with somebody who does something that is a complete no-no to you, and it is such a big no-no that you are flabbergasted because you're like, I didn't even think I would have had to have told you this, thank that person. Thank you for disqualifying yourself from me. Thank you for revealing your true colors in a short span of time. It could have taken me 10 months or 10 years to figure out that you are this kind of person at heart, where that behavior is acceptable to you and it is so deplorable to me. But you showed your colors so early on. You know what? I made a decision in that moment. I enjoyed that moment. While I wish afterwards you would have behaved differently, because you did behave that way, I learned something great, and now I can use that as leverage to move on. And even though I may still feel a longing towards you, because that's what my biology naturally does, I'm gonna make a smarter choice for myself, because ultimately I don't wanna lead a life where bad shit is just happening to me because I'm not the captain of my own ship. That's what I would have said to that girl. I couldn't find the words at the time. That's what I would have said to her 100%. And that's what I want to say to a lot of you guys who are in a similar situation. I have to say this because, I don't want to sit here like I'm atop the mountain of glory bestowing information upon you earthlings and I have it all figured out. One of the most amazing things that could have happened to me is my awful last relationship. And I bring it up quite a bit because of the fact that it gives me so much relative experience, to a lot of you guys, because I can understand how addictive bad love can be and how someone can consent to that over and over again. I was using the words I love you to somebody who I didn't really at the heart of all hearts think deserved good things in their life. And so I naturally was a part of a situation where I was giving and bringing a lot of negative energy to, and I'm responsible for that. You know what I mean? Like, in the way that that person treated me may have been a manifestation of the way that I actually thought about them. But I'm grateful for that experience. Without that relationship, I don't think I would value my partnership right now in the same way that I do. I wouldn't see the importance of little things that ultimately make up an ideal partner for me. The quote, "everything happens for a reason," isn't always true, but you damn sure better make it true. Because if not, then everything just happens and things are shitty. Find a reason, make a reason, create a lesson out of that experience, and the more that it brought out of you, the more trauma or sadness or happiness or joy, those extreme emotions are where things grow. You know, you cannot move unless you push yourself. Sometimes life needs those injections of the supernatural to make us into the people we're supposed to become. And if you focus on the feeling rather than focusing on the next movement, then you'll always be in a situation of being the victim. I was reading this book and it was saying that there's two kinds of problem solvers. There are people who do deductive reasoning and people who do reductive reasoning. Deductive reasoners are more likely to be successful. So a reductive reasoner is somebody who says, I am poor and I'm unhappy. And then they look backwards and say, my mom didn't love me, my dad wasn't there for me, I was not put in a very stable home, I was not in a good neighborhood, and this is why I am poor and unhappy. A deductive reasoner says, I am poor and I'm unhappy. In order to get out of the situation, I have to go to a better school. I have to make new friends. I have to read for 10 minutes a day. And they solve the problem of why they are where they are by acknowledging it, but looking for solutions to get out of it. So the question lies, what kind of reasoner are you? And with that, speaking of reason, I want to move into a small YouTube beef. There's another YouTuber whom I've never met before in my life. Honey, I never met you before in my life. Who felt it appropriate to not only make a masked accusation about me, but then to write my name along with it. So on their channel, they made a video about their relationship going bad. And in the comment section, somebody mentions me and says, this is somebody who makes similar content you may enjoy. To which she then responds with my name, I don't blah, 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 this person. They had an unhealthy obsession with my partner who I'm referring to in this video, and they crossed the line multiple times. And so I have my own opinions about this woman, but no, I don't watch her content. I don't remember the particulars of the comment. I don't want to get into some back and forth because I read it once and I was like, girl, bye. What irritated me though is on the day that my show came out, Shan Boody is Your Perfect Date, streaming now on full screen. On the day that show came out, I woke up really excited to see your guys' feedback and to read comments, and I opened up, my YouTube app, and I was seeing all these negative things. Someone bashed my eyebrows, which I really like my eyebrows, and then someone said, I can't believe what you did to the YouTuber's name. And I was like, I couldn't even put it together at first. I was like, who's that? And then it dawned on me. I was like, oh my God, really? And so I couldn't even indulge in that moment to go figure out what the bullshit was, because it was my day to really celebrate. But the next day I went and looked at it. It took everything inside of me not to respond back in that comment thread, because you're entitled to your opinions or version of events. You are not entitled to slander me. It is not okay for you to talk negatively and falsely about a complete stranger on a platform that, is not a small space. She has a sizable audience. With your partner, whom similarly, and here's the thing, I guess, with this YouTube channel, you guys could really sit here and think that I'm still in love with my ex. You could really sit here and think that all the commentary that I make about him or all of the different things lead back to the fact that ultimately I want that relationship back. No. It is my job, a job that I have chosen, to analyze sex, love, and relationships. And I choose to use myself as an example or as a lesson, because that is how I can relate best to you guys. And that is, to me, the kind of sex education that I wanted as a kid. I wanted my mom and dad to say, I fucked up too. I made mistakes too, or here's where I'm triumphing. I wanted that. And that's what I give back to you guys in return. And so as a result of that, I do share personal experiences, but I am, as best as I possibly can, very clear never to use names, never to use specifics, so that only if you are that person or you are directly privy to that situation will you be able to put a face to that experience. And it will never be something that compromises the individual's reputation or integrity. So that being said, I had an experience with her partner, her ex-partner, years ago. And it was a very powerful experience. I have a lot of respect for this person. They're incredibly awesome, very successful. They do a lot of great things in this world. And so I enjoyed their time and their company, and I grew and learned a lot, and I was inspired deeply. And because of that, when that situation ended, you know, it felt like a movie, you know, finishing midway through that you were really enjoying. And I was struggling a lot with that feeling, but of course coming to grips with the fact that that's not, you know, that's not for me anymore. Yo, that was the last time I spoke to that person in 5 years. Last time. And so I guess when I see you comfortable writing my name along with the words unhealthy obsession, I'm just really unclear as to what your parameters are for qualifying for that. Did I show up at your house doused in baby oil, like carrying baby photos of myself? Did I ever come to a date? Did I ever create fake accounts and tweet? Did I in any way create any kind of actual menacing situation? Have you ever seen my face in real life before? And if the answer to all these questions are no, then why do you feel so confident to put such a slanderous statement attached with my name on a platform that you know I also exist on? I just want to encourage you to do better. And the overall moral of this video, period, guys, is start taking responsibility for your damn self. It is very difficult, of course, when it comes to emotions to get a hold of it, because it is an all-consuming, addicting feeling. And so to make logical decisions in a very illogical space in your life is hard, but you are responsible for that. You know, it's not okay anymore, guys, just to say like, well, I'm an insecure person. Well, I'm a jealous person. Well, I have trust issues. Those things are not okay. You know, it's not like saying like, well, I'm 5'8". You can change it. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to be a victim to your feelings. You don't have to be a victim in your love life. You don't have to be the person that life is happening to you. You can take ownership of these things, and it takes and starts with you. It starts with disowning those feelings that bring about negative energy and negative feelings in your own life. Start with you, and then move outwards. Then make better choices in the people you have around you. But you have to first decide for yourself that you're gonna be the one to make decisions. And that is why I have the phrase, I own it, they love it. And it is very important that it's in that order. It is not, they love it, I own it. We're not waiting for everybody else to give us thumbs up and the green light and say go ahead before we do what we know is at our center. We are looking inside of ourselves, and the reason why it's the womb signal, I'm not saying like you're owning your bullshit, you're not owning your jealousy, you're not owning your crazy. That center spark of you, the center of your womb, your creation space, that is where the good comes out of. That is where it's void of all the bullshit. That's what you're owning, what your true passion is, who your true loves are, what you're really excited about. Those are the things that you're owning. And you're doing that without expectation or without waiting for someone else to say it's okay. I own it, they love it. I own my shit, I own my faults, I own my bad relationships, I own my great relationships, I own my good choices, I own my passion. I own the duty that I have brought upon myself to you guys. And in return, you're welcome to hold me accountable. And whether or not you guys love it or you don't love it, I'm gonna assume you do because you've watched this video to this point. So I own it, they love it. That's for you, and that's for you.
I get it, girl. Oh yeah, I get it, girl. Yeah, I get it, girl. And if you don't know, get it, girl.